Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. Today I have a wreath for you. It's a DIY wreath. This is the beautiful sunflower wreath that we are going to be making today. So first what you're going to need is one of these 10-inch wreath frames and a burlap mesh sheet that I have. I'm also using a cutting mat, which is glass, because I'm going to be using a wood burner to cut my fabric. Next, I'm using poly burlap mesh, and I'm also using some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree and one of those circle foams from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I did is I took my wreath and I set it down on top here, and I'm just cutting out the center of my wreath. I just traced out the middle part of the center of my wreath, and then I cut out that plastic piece. This is plastic mesh. Now you can purchase this at Hobby Lobby, or you can purchase it online as well. I will give you the links to everything in my description box down below where you could purchase these things. This was super cheap and super easy to make. You will need a lot of zip ties for this though, so here we go. So this is the burlap mesh that I'm using. It's called poly burlap mesh, and it's yellow, and I'm doing 10 by 10. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it all the way to the edge of my mat. I'm measuring where there's 10 so that I get a perfect square out of this. And what the wood burner does, and these are only like $14 on Amazon. Some of them you could get for 10. But what this is it's going to cut the burlap, and what it does is it's going to help it not to get fringe on the end of it so it doesn't come apart on your wreath. So now the way that we're going to make the petals is we're going to gather, you make sure your seam is on the top and the bottom, and then you're going to scrunch it together like I did, and then you're going to flip it over, and then you're just going to take one of those and you're going to put it on top of the other petal. Then we're going to take a zip tie, and where the little bars are on your wreath there, you see I'm putting it between the bars, I go 1, 2, 3 in, and on the third one, that's where I'm going to zip tie it. And I'm just going to zip tie it so that it's nice and tight on that bar. Just like that. Super easy, guys. Super easy to make. I'm going to try and do another tutorial where I go a little bit slower for you guys. So my seam is on top, my seam is on bottom. I'm going to cross them over like that, and then I'm just going to scrunch it up in the middle, turn it around, flip the one kind of on the side of the other one, so both seams are facing to the right, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 in on your wreath, starting from the outside going inward. And we're going to put our zip tie under that third ring, and we're going to zip tie our leaf onto that. Now what I did is I did 2 in between each bar. You can do 3 if you want it to be more full. It's totally up to you. But this is a 10-inch wreath form that I'm using. Next, I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to put the 2 sides together like so. I'm going to squeeze them together like that, scrunch them together, and then I'm going to just kind of flip it over, and then just kind of bring that one overlapping the other one just a little bit like that. Then we're going to take our zip tie, put it under the third ring on the inside, and we're going to zip tie it on. And then I'm going to keep going all the way around the whole wreath form. And once we get all around, then I'm going to come back, and you're going to see we're going to continue on to the next. And we're just going to keep going until our whole wreath is completely filled. So next, I'm going to go towards the inside. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and we're going to make the petals for the inside. So I'm going to take my 10 each piece that I already cut, and I'm going to cut it down the middle like that, kind of like a triangle. And then you're going to scrunch it up on the ends, and you're going to make a little petal just like that. And then you're going to take a small zip tie, and you're going to zip tie that like so. And then we're going to take that whole thing and zip tie those onto our wreath. Now for the first ones, the double petal that I did, which would be 2 petals together, those I think I did about 15 on the 10-inch wreath. You could do more. And then these ones, I believe I also did 15. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how many I made to make the wreath. But you're just going to keep going with these. At first, I get all my petals ready, and then I attach them to my wreath after. So now I'm going to show you how I attach them. So now what we're going to do is in between those ones that we just did the double, we're going to take the single ones and we're going to fit those in between each one of these. So we're going to go in and we're going to go in on the inner ring, which is all the way in on the inside, and we're going to attach that to that one. So you went 3 in, now you're going 4 in, okay? And on that 4th bar, you're going to attach these petals now, which are just the single petal. And you're just going to keep going around and attaching each one of those so your wreath is completely full. Now, I believe I used 15. I don't exactly remember, but you just keep going until you have enough of them to fill your wreath. You want your wreath to look full. That is the key here. Okay? So I'm just going to show you again. I'm going in between those two, and I'm going to put my zip tie in between them and then zip tie those on like so. Now, we're going to come back after this, and I'm going to go on the mesh. Now, first, I'm going to draw my circle of my foam. That's going to be my middle, okay, that we're going to put that rope on. And now I put a little hole in that mesh because my holes weren't big enough on this mesh. But you can buy mesh that the hole is big enough. And I'm going to slip it on there so that it's closer to the middle now. So I just went down like I would go down a bar because I want to completely fill the inside now so that that middle piece fits in there. That foam piece that you saw, the round piece of styrofoam, we are going to put our nautical rope around that so that it fits around the middle of our wreath to make the center of our petal. The center of our flower. So now you see how I made the hole? Now I'm just going to go in, and I just pierced my hole with my little piercing tool. But this was because I end up getting the wrong mesh. There is mesh where the hole is big enough to fit your petals through with your zip ties. So I will make sure I link the right one down below so you guys purchase the right one if you're interested in making this. And this was so much fun. This was my first one I did, so it's all trial and error. And I am learning from Julie's Wreath Boutique, and I am going to have her link down below to her YouTube channel in case you want to watch her, because she does a much better job than I do. But I wanted to show you guys that this is not hard. It is very easy, and you can make these on your own. And she shows you too. And I will get better at this, I promise. I am going to keep practicing. I plan on making one for like the 4th of July. This one is going to go on my front door, and it's going to be on there for springtime and probably summer. And this burlap is good for outdoor weather, so that's a good thing too. And yeah, so you're going to see that all the center is going to be filled in really nicely. You're not going to see any of the rim or anything because you're going in between each one of those other petals, okay? So now you can make leaves on these. This is totally optional, but you do the same thing we did in the beginning with the longer 10 by 10, and we made the 2 petals. That's what you're going to do for your leaf. And this time, though, you're just going to flip it over. You're going to flip your wreath over. You're going to flip that over, your leaves, and you're just going to attach it to the very outside ring. And then you're just going to kind of push that out so that you could just see it peeking out the sides there. And you're not going to really see it that well, your leaves, but you will see them. And that, like I said, is totally optional. You don't have to do leaves. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking my white rope that I got at the Dollar Tree. They always have this Dollar Tree. You can use any rope that you want. This is the way I did the center of mine. And all I did was I just started gluing it around the edge of that styrofoam round pieces, and you can get those styrofoam pieces at the Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack. And I'm just going to keep doing it all the way around until I come to the center. I used 2 ropes to make this, okay? Because once I did this, I had to do another rope around the edge because it wasn't big enough to reach around the inside of my wreath. So that is why I used 2. Yours, you might be able to. It depends on how many petals you put on it. your wreath. So now I'm just going to keep gluing around the edge of the outside so I make this look bigger and more full for the inside petal. I mean for the inside of my flower. To make that center, I should be saying. Sorry guys, if I don't sound professional, it's because I'm not. Because this is my first time learning this, so I'm learning with you guys too. But I'm just trying this out for you guys, and I figured I would show you guys that I actually was able to do it as well. Now I did put a button in the middle of mine, but that's totally optional for you too. I just did it because this was the kind I was making. Then I went in with some of this brown paint. It's just acrylic paint that I got at, it was 50 cents at Walmart. It's called Coffee Bean because I wanted the center to be a really dark brown. And so what I did is I just went in with my paintbrush and I just started painting my rope. So you can make your, I mean, if you could find rope the color you want your center to be, that's great. I couldn't find brown rope, so I painted mine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on to my wreath, to the center, and see how it's all filled up now. And that's going to fit snug right in the middle of my flower. And look at how pretty that is, guys. This took me a little bit, but I'm telling you, it was so worth it. Look how pretty that looks. So I'm going to leave all the links down below for you guys. And I promise if you have any questions, leave me some comments below and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to make another one of these. So don't worry, there will be more tutorials. And I will leave Julie's link down below as well. And I will leave all the links to where I found the burlap and everything to actually make the wreaths. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you could see another video. And I have more DIYs and Dollar Tree DIYs for you coming soon. And I want to thank you for watching. And remember, stay crafty. Bye.